Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jack, and today I want to talk about Ethereum, one of the oldest but as well most famous cryptocurrencies out there. It's one that's been growing with Bitcoin, the same as RSP, in the back 2017, and obviously it's seen its problems as well because of its high fees. As we know, Ethereum has got insane fees, and this has made it quite hard to do any type of transactions or work on this blockchain. But it had the solution with layer 2. Layer 2, what it's done is add more layers to this blockchain so we could have sub-projects of Ethereum, and this way we can work with Ethereum but with lower fees, okay? And I'm sure a lot of you have seen these ones like Arbitrum or Polygon that are one of the most famous, but we have a few more that have made that Ethereum can keep growing its ecosystem. And obviously this is great because it's not limited and we can build even more on Ethereum, and the more utility it gets, obviously it will increase the price of the base blockchain that is Ethereum. But that isn't everything, because Ethereum recently saw a great news. As we know, on Bitcoin we got the ETFs, okay? And this has made the access to cryptocurrencies a lot more better and to a more open public, right? Because a lot of people don't want to buy cryptocurrencies, but they want to invest in them. And this is what the ETFs do. It's basically like a hedge fund where we can invest in that cryptocurrency and this can offer return. So basically it's a huge entry for all the people that don't want to buy cryptocurrencies. It could maybe be for regulations or whatever, but they can invest in these ETFs. And as well, the ETFs gives them a lot more guarantees, so that even brings more investors around. So obviously more investors is more liquidity. As we can see here on CoinGlass, we can see all the ETFs, and probably there's more that aren't listed on here, like Grayscale, BlackRock, Bitwise, Fidelity, Van Dyck, Franklin. All these are ETFs that are based on Ethereum. As we can see here as well, Bitcoin ETFs overview. And we can see some great incomes, and all this is great for cryptocurrency, because obviously all this being more normalized, the more the cryptos get normalized, the less fear is going to be in buying, because obviously a lot of people out there are still afraid of buying any type of cryptocurrency because they think it's scam or whatever, because all the bad news that's been always going around, people trying to scam and all this and all that. And this, what it does is basically boosts any type of crypto because it gives more confidence to be able to invest in them. But not only we have more serious projects like Polygon, we have as well projects like Pepe or Flocky, okay? These are Memicons based as well on the Ethereum blockchain. And I think this is great because everything just expands and it brings all liquidity into Ethereum. At the end of the day, Ethereum is a huge blockchain that involves loads of projects. And this obviously can make it more stable because the more liquidity and the more projects we've got around it, the less probabilities we have to fall. And I mean, to be honest with you, Pepe has surprised me a lot, because we're talking about that from the last bull run we had, that was in May 24. That was small. It wasn't a big one, but it was a small bull run. It reached, okay, the 1713, and now it has reached 2592. This is an increase of literally 50%. If we go to Bitcoin, okay, you know that Bitcoin is always breaking all-time highs. It made an increase, okay, from the May, so say May around here, to the high. From the high of now, it made an increase of 38%. So it's made nearly the double of what Bitcoin has done, and this is quite interesting. Obviously, we're not talking about the same value in the long term, but it can give you some good gains in the short, medium term. I mean, because we're talking about it started in May of 23. I mean, it's only just a bit more than a year old. And if we go from the low to the high, it has an increase of 3,500%. This is a huge amount of percent. Obviously not compared to what Bitcoin has done, but I think no other cryptocurrency is going to do the same as Bitcoin has done. But it's a huge increase. I mean, we're talking about 3,500%. This, in times of money, can be a lot of money. And I must admit that Pepe is having a great market structure, okay? Because we're talking about the low of this market structure right at the moment is right down here. So we don't have any problems there. But even better, it's respecting a previous level, that is this one, okay? 1727, we can see it's been perfectly respected on this end round here, and it's had a rejection. What does this mean? There is liquidity waiting to buy again this cryptocurrency, and this is always a good news. We're talking about it's broken the high, the previous high that was making lows, okay? This basically this high here, and breaking this high here can be a signal that it could continue up. Obviously, we've got to be careful because we always have the psychological levels like 2000, that is this one here. We can see, if you have a quick look, virtually no candle goes through. Okay, only these two candles go through this level versus all little wicks that go around it. So this is an important level. And as well, the 500 will be an important level that we've had one rejection here. It's been the highest that it's got. So we got to be careful on this zone here because this can be, I mean, me personally, that I do short-term trading, I'll be selling on this side here, no doubt. But obviously, for long term, you can hold it. But as you know, meme coins aren't the best active to hold for a long time. So keep that in mind. Obviously, this isn't a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Any trading you do must be on your own risk. But this is what I'm planning. And Flocky, to be honest, I think it's as well a great active. But we're seeing some risky downtrends here. Okay, we can see it. It's just broken this little low here. So we must be careful with that because obviously it could continue a bit more down. We have a clean liquidity down here. Okay, all this is clean liquidity that the price can go lower, but it could be as well reacting or looking for this price reaction here. Okay, to do basically do a manipulation down these lows, react to this zone here. Okay, so all this part here, grab all this liquidity and then continue up. Okay, so we have different ideas what could happen, but you got to be always careful that round numbers are super important. The price reacts a lot to the round numbers. So obviously the last round number we have is this one here at 29,016. Literally where it reacts, you can see a perfect reaction. It was basically an interesting price to sell. So if you would ask me, I would keep rebuying on this zone here. But if it goes below this zone here or this zone here, I think it would be time to just sit back and see what's happening. And as we always do, let's look at the next pivot. This, this indicator that compares the past and tries to bring it back to the future to more or less predict where it can go. And I think you're going to be surprised because if we activate this, it grows up onto 14,457. This is a huge increase. We're talking about from the price we are now up to here, 600%. And if we go from the base, from where it started, right up here, we're talking about a 21,000%. That is absolutely insane. Don't know if it's going to get up right up to here. But the last time we have seen a movement like this, okay, we're talking about because this way it compares is the percentage it's moved. If we compare this movement here is what we saw down here before it boomed up right up here. So eyes on Pepe because Pepe can surprise. But if we come to Flocky, we can see that it's still not prepared to fly out, okay? Because basically what I've seen and what I wanted to share with you as well is that what I can see here is accumulation, okay? I can see here is a big accumulation that is not going anywhere until they want to, okay? Obviously, this is when big people want to move this, they can move it. And we've got to be prepared because obviously it can go up or it can go down. But I mean, if we're talking about this as being like since March up here, then in June it went up here, went higher. Now it's not getting higher when Bitcoin is making all-time highs. It's a bit strange. And if we look at the last time we had accumulations similar like this, is basically what happened here. And what happened here was it was accumulation until it went straight up. And in this case, it went up a 696%. So it's quite an increase of the price. So we've got to keep an eye on this, keep an eye on Flocky because it can be quite interesting what it can do. And we could be just near a huge boom in all the cryptocurrencies. So keep an eye on that. So now let's have a look in the long term to be able to explain more or less how I think things can go. Obviously, like I say, I'm not a financial advisor, so everything you do must be down your own risk. But I want to compare Bitcoin and Ethereum so you can see the differences. And I want to explain as well what happens when Bitcoin reaches a peak, what happens to the rest of cryptocurrencies, or at least what's been happening the last bull markets. So let's first see Bitcoin. And as we can see, Bitcoin is having a retrace and now it's continuing up. At the moment, it's not breaking any lows. Okay, we have this recent low here and we could look at this recent low here. Okay, so it'd be 84 and 88. These would be the levels to could be looking to buy more. Even you could buy at this part here, but the grow wouldn't be so high. But this is not the point. The point is it's at a retracement, okay, and it is retraced since its all-time high to here at 8.7 49%. And this obviously isn't worrying. It's not a huge drawdown or it's all about that. But if you look at Ethereum, we are not having this retracement. Okay, we had a retracement at this time here at 12th of November, but we're looking now at the 27th. At 27th is breaking the previous highs. Okay, if we look at both of them, we can see that in this case there's been a big retracement, and in this case it hasn't. Big retracement. And there's one I want to go. What happens to Bitcoin when it reaches its peak? All the liquidity goes from Bitcoin to altcoins. Okay, to altcoins obviously included Ethereum, ADA, RXP, and all these. Okay, basically the not so big as Bitcoin, but they're a bit lower altcoins. Okay, they'll go all there. Then the altcoins will blow up. Bitcoin will maintain itself more or less the same levels, but having some retracements, but it's not the same power that we've seen here. Okay, we've seen here a great power, $20,000-$30,000 difference, but in Ethereum we haven't seen this power yet. Why? Because all the liquidity has been in Bitcoin, and now it's going to Ethereum and all the altcoins, like I said. And when that's finished, it will go to the meme coins. Okay, basically it's always done that. It blows up Bitcoin, then blows up altcoins, and then blows up meme coins, and then it all goes down. Then we have a big retracement, and then it consolidates again, and then it starts all over again. That's how the bull runs work. And we can see that Ethereum hasn't exploded yet. It went below its last all-time high. We're talking about it's just now at 12%. It nearly made it over in May, but I think this time we could see it going over here, and we could probably see it at bigger prices like we saw in 2021. That is 4,900. This is the all-time high. And I'm sure we could get there and even surpass today. We have more projects and we have more interesting things. The ETFs is a great boom. A lot of people will be investing in ETFs. All this money, all this liquidity is going to be floating around Ethereum. And obviously that is going to be great for its whole ecosystem. So keep an eye on Ethereum and on its ecosystem. And if you ask me where I would like to buy Ethereum, like I always say, I'll be referring market structure because I'm a professional in that. Market structure, we have this one down here. And if we continue, we have another market structure point down here. If it goes anywhere below these lows here, I'll be concerned. I wouldn't be closing completely out positions because it doesn't mean that it's going to go low. It could be a manipulation. It could be a liquidity grab under these lows, okay? Because obviously these lows, a lot of people will probably have their stop losses. People will want to sell their Ethereums there. I'm sure a lot of people want to be ready to buy at this price here. So keep in mind that this could be a liquidity grab if it comes down here. If it keeps going below, then it will probably go a bit lower until this level round here. Okay, so it will all depend on how market will be evolving. Hopefully it doesn't come down here in the short term. It'll probably blow up before. And as well, I want to show you what the next pivot says, because I mean, I think it can be quite interesting that it shows up it could reach $6,189. Okay, obviously this prediction isn't exact. The only thing it does, it compares past and tries to bring it to the future based on the movement and percentage it's made. So obviously last time we saw anything like this was at this point here, and it flew right up to here. Okay, so it can be quite interesting to see what's going to happen to Ethereum. Obviously, like I say, Ethereum for me is one of my favorites. It's been there since I knew cryptocurrencies, when I saw Bitcoin in $200 and when I saw Ethereum at $40, $50. So obviously I've always been keeping an eye on it. Always keeping an eye on its new projects, its meme coins. I always think they're great fun and an easy way to make money in my opinion. But obviously remember, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't a financial advice to anyone. Any trading you do must be under your own risk. And after said this, I would love you to let me know back down in the comments what price you think Ethereum can reach. I'll see you next time, and goodbye.